Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sadashivasamarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Narayanam Padmabhavam Vasishtam Shaktim cha Tatputra Parasharam cha Vyasam Shukam Gaudapadam Mahantam Govinda Yogindra Madasya Sishyam Shri Shankaracharya Madasya Padma Padam cha Hastamalakam cha Shishyam Tam Todakam Vartika Karamanyanasmadgurun Santatamanatosmi Shruti Smriti Purananamayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavanto Punah Punah Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vitvaram Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranadosmyam. Topic is about Ahankar. Gurudev said, pride goeth before a fall. Fall, when it happens, it takes so much time to get back to wherever we are. Any fall is great calamity. And Ahankar is the greatest calamitous thing. Therefore, in this section, starting from the verse number 298 onwards, 298, yeah. Up to this last one, which you will see today, 309, there is a caution against any kind of negligence about the Ahankar. The same topic is further taken up, how it can be overcome and what will be the effect of not overcoming ego. We'll read 309 now. Samoola kritvopi mahanaham punah.
Samoola kritvopi mahanaham punah.
Ullekitasvat syad-yadi chetasakshanam.
Ullekitasyadyadi chetasakshanam.
Sanjeeva vikshepa shatam karoti.
Sanjeeva vikshepa shatam karoti.
Nabastvada pravrushivarido yatha.
Nabastvada pravrushivarido yatha.
Samoola krittopi mahanaham punah. Vyullekitasya vyaditeta sakshanam. Sanjeeva vikshepa shatam karoti. Nabastvada pravrushivarido yatha. Mahan Aham, that is the main subject here. This great ego, which is Mahan, indeed very powerful. Here Mahan is not, very celebrated or most worshipful as any. A Mahan, in the sense, it's so powerful. Balavan ityartha. Balavan Aham Punaha Samoola kritta api. Krit is to cut. Kritta, krit, cut in English. Kritta api. Krittah api, krittopi. Samoola krittopi, samoola krittopi. Or one meaning of krit is to cut, or samoola krit means rooting it down. Rooted out also, aham mahanaham punah ullekita syad, ullekitah. Even as it is, see, rooting out is from the very root of a tree when you remove it also. But this one is such a powerful one, it gets Chetasa kshanam ullekitah syat. Even if a little bit of revival is done, sanjivya, it comes to life. Vikshepa shatam karoti. It does hundreds of vikshepas, projections. Like what? Like the example that is given here as, so, like that of the rainy season, how the cloud is made to pour down the water, nabasvata varito pravrishi yata. Yata pravrishi. Just as the nabaha, nabasvata. Nabasvata means that which is there up in the sky, these clouds. Pravrishi varito yata. So that's just like the clouds can create so much of rain, being fanned as though by the wind. Nabasvata, Nabaswan means actually the wind. Nabasvata, by the wind. Varitaha yada pravrishihi bhavati. Just like the varim dadadi idi varitaha. Vari means water. Varim dadadi, that which gives water, that is the cloud. Yata pravrishi, like the rainy season. In rainy season, how the rain is torrential. So, during the time when it's not rainy season, the clouds still have water. Because the cloud means as water. That's what it's cloud. But when does it actually give water? Only when the wind disturbs it. So, that is how the example is given. Potentially it is there, but does not give water. As though it does not have water, it will move around. But then when it is fanned or moved by the wind, it starts to give out that content of the water in the same way. So now you see here, verse number 30. Yeah. Mahan anadikalat shaka upashakataya vruddha aham. This ahankar is that is anadikalat, because it has been there for a long time. Ahankar jo hai, ye anadi. And very many times we do not know that we have ahankar also. So ahankar is the car in which we travel. Jiva travels in that car. What is the car you have? Ahankar. Oh, very good. So this car, the Jiva is using for many lives. Even as a small child, you may say, oh, the child is so innocent. It is only ahankar unmanifest. It's a parked car. Car is now parked. Fuel is not there. Actually, it is stalled car. No fuel is put. Once the fuel is put inside that car, that is it. So the child also has got ahankar, but it does not show up. As it grows into 3-year-old, 4-year-old, I don't want it. I want it. Shuru ho gaya. That aham starts as early as the individual assertion. I want, I don't want, I like, I don't like. So, anadikalat Shaka upashakataya vriddha, like that of a tree which is filled with various smaller and bigger roots. Ahankaraha samula krittopi, even it is rooted out. Viveka vijnanena swamula bhutena ajnanena sa chinnahapi. Even when it is cut because of the destruction of the ajnana also, punaha, again, chetasa yadi kshanam ullekitaha. Visheshena ullekita. Ullekanam is to dig out. Ullekanam. So, ullekita kshanam, even for a moment, prabuddhena purushena, even the well intelligent person also, bhikara swapna iva, like a person who had woken up from a dream, but the dream, what has happened in the dream is very frightening. How that fear continued to prevail. Bhikara swapna iva smrutaha syat, is being dreamt of or remembered. Sanjeeva punarutpatya. Sanjeeva means having, coming into life. Vikshepa shatam karoti. It creates hundreds of different mental projections. Tatra drishtantaha, that drishtanta is given here. Sharadado nashtoha api. In Sharad Kala or in the autumnal season, when it is all over, even then, Nabhavasheshatam nito api varitaha. Even though it is not more or less seen in the sky, varitaha megaha, that very cloud, pravrishi varshitaha nabasvata vayuna nitaha, being moved about by the wind, sambrida salilaha, filled with so much of water, yata varshati, as it rains, tata, in the same way. So one can never take oneself as granted. That is why Gurudev, when he was asked, are you enlightened? When somebody asked, he said, not yet. Because one who has overcome ahankar can never say, I have overcome ahankar. The moment he says, I have lost my ego, who's saying? Who is saying that? The moment he say, I don't have ego, that itself is the ego. So, Mahatmas would always say, either I don't know or not yet. It's not humility, it is reality. Humility is one thing. Humility is saying that no, see, many times humility look like weakness, who am I? I'm good for nothing, I'm useless. Some people think that is humility. Sorry, I'm nothing, I don't know anything. Yeah, that is not humility actually. Humility is where there is no assertion of this ego as I am so and so, I know this much, I am great, I have achieved this. All these things are the manifestation of the ego. So when Gurudev asked many times, I told you this before also, when he was there and one of his students who left him, and then after some time he met him in some other place, Gurudev looked at him, hey, where are you nowadays? And that student was so arrogant and said, I'm everywhere. So then Gurudev looked at him and said, I have not reached that much awareness, that much of wisdom, please. Yeah, arrogance, you see? So much of arrogance. Unfortunately, many people think, I recently came across, anyway, I have to tell you this. One of the, Chandipani students, who has become a Swami and then now he left and he's on his own. So he advises Chinmaya Mission, other Swamis and Brahmacharis, you people are wasting your time because you are talking to the Grihasthas who are not seekers. So I said, see, you have to define what is seeking. Think about it. Definitely, you see, everybody cannot be the same. Each one has got their own priorities and degrees of maturity and many other things, factors. Everybody cannot be going to the some Himalaya kshetra and then sit and there and start doing there. They each one have to move ahead in their own way according to their immediate challenges and responsibilities and this and that. So to discourage people to say you are wasting your time teaching people who are not sadhakas is such a very wrong perception. And I said as an advice, see, it doesn't matter who actually is a sadhaka, who is not a sadhaka. What you are doing is a sadhaka. That is what matters. आप पढ़ रहे हो, you are reading, समझ रहे हो, you are thinking and understanding, and you are sharing your thoughts. Whether the other person is a sadhaka or not, you don't decide. Right? Can I decide anybody else is sadhaka or not? My sadhana is what? I read, I understand, I share my thoughts. What I have to focus is my sadhana. Whether anybody is sadhaka or not, how does it matter to me? How do I even know? See? So this is arrogance. This is called ego. Hey, sadhak nahi hai, uske liye time waste kar rahe ho. देखो, this is called ego. This is called Paramartha ego. Parama ego it is. As I'm not going to waste time on these people. The ego, the highest order. So that's what he's cautioning. Even a little bit of this ego comes to your mind. Ullekitah syat sanjivati sanjivya vikshepa shatam karoti. It can create havoc there. So, nashtasya kadam jivanam iti chet. No, if you say, Viveka, already discrimination is done, ajnana nivritti bhi ho gaya. So, how the ego that is destroyed, nashtasya kadam jivanam, how is that possible it will be surviving? Chet, mritasya amritaseka iva. Like a person who's dead, but if you sprinkle amritam on that dead person, he'll wake up. Like Lakshmana. That's why Sanjeevani Bhuti, he brought all the way Hanumanji, and then that elixir was given as though he was completely dead. Lakshmana, he came to revive himself. Mritasya amritasechanam means to sprinkle. Amritaseka iva vishayanuchintanameva tatra hetuhu. The mind gravitates towards the Vishaya Chintanam, thinking about objects of the world. That is the Hetu, cause. Sadrishtantamaha Nikrihyati. Next verse is about how the Vishaya Chintanam, Vishayanu Chintanam can create a great revival of the ego. Gurudev, often we have seen, he would sit there with his mala in his hand, chanting the name of the Lord in his mind. So he used to wonder, no, why should he need to do it? Now, this is the difference between a real sadhu and so-called sadhus. Gurudev never let his mind ever act like a monkey. He in spite of the fact, everybody knows that he is such a master himself, Vedanta master, right? But he never let his mind wander at all. Whenever he would travel, and if he's not conversing with anybody, Krishna, 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 he will go on in his mind. Sometimes you can hear him also. with this mala going. People, when they asked, he said, never take your mind for granted. Just because just because you know Brahma Jnana, just because you know that the false nature of everything, but never there should be any laxity. And that is what is this section about. Action, thoughts, vasanas, renounce. Gurudev writes, because you would, when you look at his commentary, or when you look at his video talk on this part, he will emphasize this very, very carefully. So the verse number 310. Nigrihya shatrohamaho vakashah क्वचिन्नदेयो विषयानुचिन्तया स एव सञ्जीवनहेतुरस्य प्रक्षीणजम्बीरतरोरिवाम्बु निगृह्य शत्रोरहमोऽवकाशः क्वचिन्नदेयो विषयानुचिन्तया स एव सञ्जीवनहेतुरस्य प्रक्षीणजम्बीरतरोरिवाम्बु अहमः शत्रोः of the ego, ahamaha, of the ego, which is a shatru, is a great enemy. Nigrihya, having captured, having overpowered, having overcome, kvachit na avakashaha deyah. Not even a little avakasha, space, occasion, opportunity you give. To that I am to come back. How will it come? Vishayanu chintaya. Thinking about the objects of pleasure in the world. See, in Bhagavad Gita also many places Bhagavan Indriyani Indriyarteshu Indrani Indriyatebhyaha Nivartanam. Removing the attention by the senses about the objects. So one has to overcome that thoughts which will gravitate towards the objects because of the past habits. Sayeva sanjivana hetuhu. That thinking alone is cause of or the revival of the ego. Sanjivana hetu karanam asya ahangarasya. Like what? Prakshina jambuhu, jambi taru. Taru means a tree. Jambira taru meaning lime tree. Prakshina jambira taru. A lime tree which is almost, destroyed. Taroho, of that, ambu, a little water you put, it will come back. Even if it is completely destroyed, you put little water, that lime tree becomes sublime. It will revive itself and it will start coming back again. See, like Gurudev writes before this, so too the mind is one moment steady in prayerful meditation. Next moment there is a gush of thoughts which, dashing the brilliant poise of the mind at meditation, make it full of agitation. Generally you feel more distracted when you come out of the puja room. Many times when people do the Shiva puja at home, when they come out, they took Rudra avatar. They take Rudra avatar. Because of 1 hour of sitting after the puja, they come as Rudra avatar. Where is my breakfast? And nobody prepares the breakfast. So, come out of the puja room, so they distracted when you come out, then when you went in. When going in, you are all Shanta Swarup. After you come back, Rudra Tandava hoga. Right? All this is because of the devastating play of the ego. Therefore, beware. Conquer the ego and continue with the alert vigilance. That's why Gurudev said, sadhana is alert, vigilant, living is sadhana. You just cannot say sadhana is ended. It never ends. It's a work in progress all the time. You do not know what will revive the ego at what time. Never think that the ego has left you permanently. It must have only receded to the background. It can come up again if you slacken your diligence. He gives the example of a sadhu having attachment for his loincloth, could not tolerate the rat trouble. You know the story, right? Huh? So you don't know. That's a very interesting story Gurudev will give you. So this fellow who want to renounce, and he went to Himalayas. He had only two sets of clothes. One he was wearing and one he used to wash and keep. So langoti, you would say, loin cloth. Only that he was having as his possession. So he would wear one and another one he will wash and clean, keep it. In that very small cave that he lived, because he was inspired after going to Kumbh Mela. So I will also live like this only. So he went there. He didn't even tell his wife anything about it. He had children also, but he went. So after that, he went there. So he was living in a cave, and there, in a remote area, there were rats also then. So one rat came and ate away his loincloth. Next day he couldn't wear. So he got so worried. So he looked around, there was another sadhu was living in another place. And he had some chelas, disciples. It's like an ashram. He went there, and then the other sadhu asked, what do you want? He said, see, I had only one set of clothes, two sets of clothes, one is gone. What happened? A rat ate it. Oh, rat? Okay, that trouble is there in this part of the... I'll give you extra clothes I have, I'll give you. But anyway, rat trouble is there. Then there's a cat I have in the ashram. You can take that cat. So the cat will be there, and then rat won't come, because cat will destroy the rat. So he went and took the cat along with him. So what happened? The cat... See, the sadhu may not need anything. He may take fruits and roots. But the cat needs milk. So then that fellow ran away. Then again the rat came and ate the new clothes also. He went back to the same sadhu and said, what happened? That is also gone. What happened? A rat ate it. But you have a cat. But I have a cat, but he never stayed with me. Why? I don't know. Did you give milk to it every day? No. Where do I go for milk? When you are going for bhiksha, ask for milk also. But they won't give. Okay, in my ashram I have a cow. You want, you take it. But the only thing is you have to take him for grazing every day, 1 hour. Okay. So, oh my God, I want to meditate. If you want a rat problem to go away, you need a cat. For cat, need a milk. For milk, you need a cow. Or cow needs a graze. This is simple. Okay, give me the cow. He took the cow and the cat came back. So he had the cat, and then he would milk the cow, give it to the cat. Then he had to take the the cow to the grazing. 1.5 hours. It will not come easily. It will take slowly. It will go on. He has to wait there watching it. So he said, oh, I wanted to meditate, but what is this going on? And then when it comes back, it puts the dung, cow dung. That was not timed, whenever it wants, it will put a dung. So then the flies and all those things will come. When he was sitting and meditating, so smell also. So he had to clean that whole place out. So it took 3-4 hours gone in that. he went to the Mahatma and said, I have a problem. What? The cow you gave, all right. Now its milk is assured, and I'm taking the cow for grazing. It takes 2-3 hours. And I come back, then it puts a dung almost 2-3 times a day. And unless I clean it in a small cave, now I can't sit for meditation. So my idea of meditation is gone because I have to do all these things. Yes. See, there is one young maid is there in the village, and she wanted some job. I'll send it to you. So she will take care of everything, like removing the dung and cleaning up the place and taking the cow for grazing. And she even, in fact, she can milk the cow for you, and then she can even cook whatever you want, because every day you cannot go for bhiksha. She will cook for you also. Take it. So she took the girl, came back to the cave. In years' time, they had twins also. Now, कहाँ से आके कहाँ तक आया वे? What's the point? See, a sadhu having attachment for his loincloth could not tolerate the rat trouble. He thought he brought a cat to keep away the rats. The rat, no doubt, disappeared, but the cat had to be fed. And hence he brought a cow to this humble hut of study. The cow had to be looked after, hence he decided to have a wife to look after the needs of the cow. After some time, they had children. Their naming ceremony, nourishing and educating, then marriage. Endless, disastrous. And he would elaborate for the whole hour on this. My God, we used to roll in laughter. ROTL, rolling on the floor, ROTFL, ROFL. We used to roll in laughter. All this is because of desire to possess. So, this is the reason why Vishayanuchintanameva tasya hetuhu. So the hetuhu, ahankarasya hetuhu Vishayanuchintanam. Tasmat, very carefully one has to nigraham krutva satroho ahamaha sarvanasha hetoho hankarasya Vishayanuchintaya kvachit api avakashaha na deyaha. Don't give a occasion for the ego to have a room. Sayeva Vishayanuchinta eva asya hankarasya sanjivana hetuhu. Yakshati hi na pramadad anartonyo jnanina swaswarupatah tato mohastado handihi tato vandastato vyata. It is quoted from here. Na pramadad anartah anyah jnaninah swaswarupatah. Swaswarupatah pramadat. Moving away, deviating from one's own true nature. Anartah anya jnaninah na. There is nothing more calamitous to that jnani. So, tataha mohaha. So, therefore, that's what it is said. Tado mohaha. Because of that, of this deviation from one's own abidance, is delusion. Tadaha ahandihi, then ahankar, tato bandha, then bondage, tato vyata, then all suffering. Iti sanjivana heturadi ati viteya pradanyat vishayanuchintayaha sayevedi pullinga vipadesha. So there is a small grammar point here. Vishayanuchinta chintaya. Chinta is feminine. Vishayanuchinta eva sanjivana hetuhu. But here sa is used, masculine. So it should be sa eva sanjivana hetuhu. But what is to be given important is Sanjeevana Hetu is important. Therefore, Sa Sanjeevana Hetu. So even though Vishayani Chinta is the cause, but cause is taken in the account as the masculine. So therefore, Sanjeevana Hetu, that is the grammar point here. What is to be intended, Videya Vastu is Sanjeevana Hetu. Therefore, that being masculine, it is taken as masculine. That's what is given there. Kshinasya punar baddha drishtantamaha prakshinati. See, even though it is weakened, but it still can create bondage. Prakshina jiva jambira taroho shushkasyapi. Even though the dried out lime tree, jambira vrikshasya ambu jalam vritti hetu bhutam bhavati. Very little water itself is the cause of the growth of the tree again. Evam viveka vijnanena nashita api ahankara. Even though by the discriminative knowledge the destruction of the ahankar taken place, pramadat, due to inadvertence, not diligently living, vishayanuchinta yadi kriyeta, in case it's passive form, in case the vishayanuchintanam is taken or done, punaha prapta jivanaha samsarayati iti bhava. Again, one will get back to transmigration. So, vishayanu chintamapi nashtasya ahankarasya kadam ujjivanam iti shankayam. How is that Vishaya Chintanam or thinking about objects of the world can cause the samsara to come back? See, after all, when I keep my eyes, ears, nose, so everything opens in the world of situations, I cannot but perceive the objects. You cannot run around with the closed eyes, close the ears and everything and then move. That is not, we are not living in some remote, even when you are saying that I'm living in the remote village in the Himalayas, etc., you have to keep your eyes open and move around when you are to have at least the daily living. So, how is this possible for an individual to caution or to remain in diligently cautious? And why is it that Vishayanuchintanam, the remembrance about the objects, can cause the samsara again? That is quoted here, beautiful. It is like a ladder of fall, similar to that. Vishayeshva vishechetah sankalpayati tadgunan samyak sankalpana kamah kamat pumsa pravartanam tadaswarupa vibramshah vibrashtastu padatyatah paditasya vinasham paditasya vinasham punaha vinasham punarnaroha ishyate. So, vishayeshu avishet chetaha. When the mind enters into the objects, avishet means entering. When the mind enters into the objects, sankalpayati tadgunan, it starts thinking about the qualities of that object. Oh, it is nice. Oh, it will give me some joy. Oh, this is good. This I want to own. This I want to possess. This I want to retain with me. All that kind of a thought process starts. This is called sankalpanam. Sankalpayati tadgunan. Samyak kalpanat kamaha. Then that very sankalpa is what is known as, in today's world, known as window shopping. It's the most dangerous thing that people do. Nahi Swamiji, just doing window shopping. It's not window shopping, it's a mindo shopping. Because body's window is the mind, right? Through the mind only you are watching everything. Eyes are there, but through the eyes, mind only is watching. So window is there, but mindo is here. Only one letter difference. W put opposite become mind. Window, the mindo. So the mind which is watching it, it does not just watch it or see it. Nice, finished. The moment you say it is nice, then why not? How it is not, why it is, why, how it is nice, why it is nice. When you start thinking, ye chahiye mujhe. Sometimes you may not want at all, but it looks nice. Or you don't want it, but others don't have it, so I have to have it, so that I can show off. See, this I got it from Amma Jan. This is a new product that has come. Amma Jan means Amazon. So this, so you can show off this. So here, samyak sankalpanat kamaha kamat pumsaha pravartanam. Pravartanam, engagement in that action. Whatever one desires, one engages in that action related to that desire. Tadaha swarupa vipramsaha. And then you moved out. Moved out from your awareness of the self into action. Viprashtastu patati ataha, thus he falls down. Falls down means from his serene state of quietude, peace, contentment, he becomes a person of desire, wanting to have something. That is called padanam, falling, ataha, below. Patitasya vinasham. Patitasya, what is vinanasham is written there? What is it? Vinanasham. Patitasya vinanasham punarnaroha ishyate. So punaha na aroha ishyate. Such a person who has fallen down, there is no more ability to get up. Iti pranalikaya vishayeshu kamaha sankalpajanyaha. So therefore, in succession, one by one, from vishayeshu kamaha sankalpajanyaha, the desire came out of sankalpat kamaha, vishaya sankalpat kamaha. Sankalpascha samyak buddhihi. What is sankalpa? Oh, I want that samyak buddhihi. Ananda janakatva jnanam. What is the sankalpa? It is in the form of Ananda janakatva jnanam. This is a knowledge about it being a cause of happiness. Ananda janakatva jnanam. Such a ananda vaishayikaha. It is ananda, but it is born out of vishayas. Manasaha eva. This particular ananda is born out of objects. It is something which is created in the mind only. It is not atmanaha ananda, it is a vishayananda. Yadi sadadam swaswarupanishtaha, if a person santadam swarupanishtaha, if a person is continuing to stay in his own self, tadaha kudaha vishaya chinta, kudaha taram teshu sankalpaha, kudastamam kamaha. How is that possible for a person who is abiding in the self can have thought about the objects or desire for it, etc.? Tataha swarupa vismritihi vishaya chintaya bhavati. So, non-remembrance of one's own true nature is because of the thought about the object coming into the mind. Yada vismrutam swarupam, when one forgets about one's own nature, tada ahankarameva atmatvena manyate. Then ahankara itself replacing the self, higher self. Tatra Ahandiyam vina deha anukulataya pradiyamaneshu vishayeshu kama anupapatte. Without that ahankara, there cannot be the thought about the objects which are most desired by the body, etc. ततः अहंकारद्वारा मनः प्राण स्थूल देहादिकम् आत्मत्वेन मत्वा, due to that ahankara which is of the nature of identification, one comes to think that body, mind, senses, prana, himself as the oneself, atmatvena matva, purvavat, like before the knowledge took place, Vishayan kamayamana, desiring for the objects, samsarati, come to become a samsari again. Tad idam uktam purvam. That's why it is earlier said, it's a very important verse I told you. Jnate vastunya vipalavati vasanana diresha karta bhoktapyahamidi drida yasya samsara hetuhu pratyagdrishtya nivasati sada sapaneya prayatnat muktim prahustati hamunayo vasanatanavam yat. The removal of vasana or thinning down of the vasana is moksha. And that can happen only by pratyak drishtya, paying the attention to the self again and again and again. Iti pusutrena slokena anantara grantaha tad vivarana rupaha. Again, following many verses are going to come, which will establish and explain this. And munayaha vachana tad vivarana rupaha jnatu vastunah purushasya nirantara brahmanishtam dridayati. It is going to establish the need for abidance. Tatra ya asya samsara hetu iti asya artham aha. So now, thus, therefore, samsarasya hetuhu ahankara eva vishayanuchintanam. Dehatmana samstita eva kami
देहात्मना संस्थित एव कामी
vilakshana kamayita katam syat
विलक्षणकामयिता कथं स्यात्
adorta sandhana parattvameva
अतोऽर्थसन्धानपरत्वमेव
veda prasakya bhavabandha hetuhu.
वेदप्रसक्त्या भवबन्धहेतुः
देहात्मना संस्थित एव कामी विलक्षणकामयिता कथं स्यात् आतोत्तसन्धानपरत्वमेव भेदप्रसक्त्या भवबन्धहेतुः. Who is a kami? Who is a man of desire? Dehatmana samstitah eva kami. One who considers the body alone as the self is the person of desire. Vilakshanaha, one who has not have that dehatma bhava, kamayita katam syat. How can that such a person will ever be the person of desire? Vilakshanaha kamayita katam syat. So, in other words, he who has identified himself with the body is a greedy of sensuality. How can one, devoid of the body idea, be ever greedy? Kamayita katam syat. Ataha, thus therefore, arthasandhana paratvameva, meaning vishayanuchintanameva. Artha paratva means objects are more important than anything else, because they alone can give me pleasure in the body. Veda prasaktya bhavabandha hetuhu, that which is Veda prasaktya, because of the total attachment to that objects, which is Veda prasaktya. The word Veda prasaktya has to be understood as in the form of duality. Me, the person, the body, and the object which is other than me, coming in contact with the object alone is happiness. Meaning what? Vedat eva sukham. Veda sukham. Veda means where division is there and one has to come in contact with the other. That alone is the cause of joy. That is bhava bandha hetuhu. That is what is called as the cause of the entire bondage. So here, dehatmana samstita eva kami nirantara ananda swarupena stitaha kutaha kshanika ananda hedushu kamaha. A person who is having constant happiness with oneself, how can he settle down for little ones? When we don't discover nirantara ananda, the eternal joy of the self, then we tend to go for the kshanika ananda. Tena swaswarupa bramshaha katitaha. That is why there is the falling away from one's own true nature. Tadidamuktam vilakshanaha kamayida kadam syat. That's why the question is raised. The one who is devoid of this dehatma bhava, how can he be a kami? Atmanam ched vijaniyat ayamasmidi purushaha kimichan kasya kamaya shariram anusanjaret. This is a beautiful statement. Atmanam ched vijaniyat. If a person who has realized the self, ayam asmi iti purushaha. Ayam atma aham asmi. One who has realized this self alone am I, for him, for what reason he will identify with the body and desire anything. That's why it says, Kimichan, what desiring what? Kasya kamaya, for what desire? Shariram anusancharet, how will he identify with the body? Iti shrudehe aptakamam, atmakamam, akamam, shokantaram. When all the desires are fulfilled in the abidance in the self, atmakamam, atmakamam, one who is abiding in the self as the most blissful one, whom all the desires have been completed. Meaning, it's not that he finished all the desires, no more desire is there for him to anymore pursue that way. Akamam, therefore desireless, shokantaram, reached the other shore of the sorrows. Iti cha. So, ato artha sandhana parattvameva prasaktya veda sanjananena bhavabandha hetuhu. Vishayanuchintana saktam eva swarupa vimshamshana dwara dehado ahantam avatya veda prasaktya. So, only because of that duality perception, one becomes a person of bondage. No chet, otherwise, sada swarupa nishtasya kamya kamayitru kamanadi vedaha kuta tasya kutaha kutarasya iti bhava. There is a person of desire, object of desire, and the engagement in desire. Kamya, object of desire, kamayitru, the one who is a desirer, then kamana, that very desire itself. The desirable objects, the desiring person, and the desire. These chain differences will not be there for a person who is abiding. All right. Now, tavatavi nashtasya ahankara sanjeevanam katam. It is not acceptable by a Purvapakshi. How is that? Ahankar nashtu ho gaya completely. How can it come back to life again? This is very discouraging, you see. I have woken up. After having woken up, how can there be again? This is, I mean, that means that you'll never go. It can revive itself. It's like, Bhagavan Sri Rama, how much ever it started to cut the head off the Ravana, blum, 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 it comes in. If you see that cartoon, Ramayana, cut, 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 10 heads he cuts. By the time we finish the 10th one, dum, 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 again another 10 comes out. ये कहाँ से आ रहा है भाई? How much ever I cut, it keeps coming back. So these 10 heads, this what called this? Dashamukha Ravan. Dashamukha Ravan is symbolic, all the 10 sense organs are active. So one is over, then another will come. So how to overcome? This is too discouraging. We'll see in the next class. This one. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkhabhat Bhavet. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om.